All right, you guys, we just had major reserve news break. And if you are not paying attention, then you can miss one of the biggest opportunities in crypto in years. If you've been paying attention to my previous analysis, then you already knew this was coming. This is the exact catalyst that we have been waiting for that macro wave 3 trend up to new highs across the market. And the market has already responded in a huge way. So let's get into that market reaction because it has been textbook. So we have Bitcoin bouncing right off that 0.5 Fibonacci level I talked about in the last update at 85,000. It's up to now 95,000 with an incredible run breaking past that psychological 382 level. And then we have XRP bouncing perfectly off that $2 psychological support up to $2.85, up over 28% on the day. Absolutely incredible. And then Ethereum perfectly holding that golden retracement I talked about and showing signs of that new trend forming. So this is an awesome time in the market. Make sure you are paying attention. So let's get into the charts and we'll talk about what is happening and where the market could be headed next. All right, you guys, here we are on the Bitcoin 4-hour chart, and you can see down here that is that 0.5 Fibonacci support that I talked about in the last update that I really thought that the market should hold in order to keep this bullish momentum that we've been seeing. And you can just see how beautiful this bounce off the support was. This was amazing. And this has since been our reaction. So this was that 382 level. You can see at first it found a little bit of resistance, but yeah, in just the last several hours, just showing incredible strength on Bitcoin. And you can even see how it comes up to that 236 Fibonacci retracement at 95,300 and just respects it just beautifully as resistance. You can see we're right below this trend line here showing a little bit of resistance, but this major breakout has been absolutely strong. I do think with time that we will start to come up for a new trend on Bitcoin. So looking ahead, we do have our next resistance sitting at this 118 Fibonacci level. This is at 102,400. So that's the next local resistance, along with previous high, which was right around 109,600 area. So those would be the next two local resistances, but I do think that this trend is just confirming exactly what we want it to do, and I think it's heading for a new trend. So myself, along with many other analysts, think that Bitcoin is going to come up towards that 126,000 area. You can see that's right between the 0.5 and 618 extensions here on my chart. So I do think that we would come up to test those areas if Bitcoin does start to make a new high and we really start to get bullish this next week. That could be our next new targets right up there. So take a look at those areas for resistance. But you can see all of these areas should really get a reaction from the market. So definitely if we come up for a new high, look at our resistances up there. So this is a very exciting time on the market and exactly what we were anticipating to see. So let's get into XRP, which is now up 28% on the day, which is absolutely incredible. All right, you guys, here we are with XRP on the 4-hour, and just look how incredibly perfect this was. Like, you cannot make this up. This is not random. This was absolutely calculated beforehand. You can see this massive ABC that we were tracking. I do have the subwaves removed just so it's a little bit more clear now that we have confirmation of our new trend. And you can see this level down here. This is $1.97. And you can just see how beautifully it respected our targets. And these targets were just based off Elliott wave theory and Fibonacci extensions. So that's all that was used. but I was definitely also tracking the low with RSI. So those three things are what I use on this chart, and that's all that was used to determine this bottom target here. And you can see it did get a really beautiful wick down to almost exact bottom of my box there. But even our closes on the candle right at that $2 area that I talked about, it was just amazing. And you can see just how the market has reacted since. So this was our bottom of our C target, which very well could have been the end of that macro correction. And we could be starting our new trend now, which can be confirmed until we make a new high above that 340 area. But it is looking like we are starting that here. And our RSI, you can see, is just coming up to new highs and looking absolutely perfect there. So any new highs just locally will probably find resistance at that $3.08, which that new round dollar amount is always going to find psychological resistance. So $3 to $3.08, that's local resistance, as well as previous high. We have $3.38 or $3.40. So definitely expect reactions there. I do think that we could see a little bit larger of a reaction off 3.8, with it also being our wave 3 target here. So you can see our 3.618 is our next wave 3 target. So that is aligned with the larger resistance down there at 3.05. So I would expect that to be a little bit larger resistance for now in the market. So let's get measured in with a Fibonacci retracement to see right now where this could be heading as support before we could start to make a new high. Because you can see in the market we have made a massive wave 3. So a wave 3 looks just like what you're seeing here, where we have those massive candles. It's the most obvious in the market cycle. So we could get measured on a potential wave 4 and get retracement levels. And we can see potentially where we could find support before coming up to new highs. So let's get that in here so you guys are prepared for that next. Okay, so I'm just going to take my Fibonacci retracement tool here, and I'm just going to measure the wave 3. So we're just going to go down to the low here, not down all the way to the low, so just wave 3. And we're going to come all the way up to the high that we just had. And you guys can see that I'm just generally marking these levels here, but you could go in and get the exact coordinates there and make sure it's exact for your exchange that you're trading on or buying on. That would be ideal there. So what we know based on Elliott wave theory is that our wave 4 should now come down to 382, which you can see here is this level. That is $2.70 right at our 382, but it could come all the way down to $2.56 and still be valid for our subwave 4 up to new highs after that. So target this 382 area, and you can see that really is a beautiful area to target with it being previous resistance here. It could come down now to support right down to that $2.70. So that's where we would be expecting to see the next support on XRP before coming up to new highs. One thing to notice is just how shallow our wave 2 was, which usually lends to the deeper wave 4 correction. So that's something to take note, is that we really could, based on that CR56, all of these bullish retracement levels, the 236, the 382, and the 0.5, all of these bullish retracement levels here could be pivots in the market. So what I like to do if I'm trading is ladder in onto those supports. That's a strategy that you could use. Any of them could get a major reaction, especially being this bullish on XRP and in the market in general. So for the 236, we're looking at $2.80 as our next support, down to that $2.70 target that I talked about. That should really be the technical target based on Elliott wave theory. I would not be surprised if that is the final pivot market there. And then we have this level down here at the 0.5 at $2.56. That could also be equally as reactive there at that price level. So keep an eye on those as the market does start to come down and correct in a healthy way and really complete that market cycle. That's based on Elliott wave theory. So don't be alarmed if it starts to come down. I do think that this is already confirming we're on a new trend, and we just need to let the market cycle play out as it's intended. So don't worry if the market does come down for a correction. So let's get over to Ethereum then. All right, you guys, so I have Ethereum on the daily pulled up here just because the waves on the short term are a little bit more unclear, but it's holding that support perfectly. And you can just see that here at that 618. This is the golden retracement level. This is where I talked about in the last update that we would more than likely hold, with it being that golden retracement and that golden pocket down there, and with it also being previous resistance in the market. So that gave us more confirmation that this would hold as support, even though the waves were a little bit unclear. And then you can see this is how Ethereum has reacted to the news. Yeah, so you can see when I get a little bit more zoomed in here, we did have that wick down to that golden pocket area, but then look how nicely the close of the candle bodies just respected that golden retracement, that 618 level at 2,225. That was just perfect there. And has since had a really strong reaction. So on Ethereum, we haven't broken past previous resistance, which is now at that 0.5 level at 2,582. We haven't broken past that, which, like I mentioned in our previous update, this is a major level that always signals whether the market is bearish or bullish. And right now, Ethereum is currently under that 0.5 level. So in order to get even stronger confirmation on Ethereum up to new trends, we do have to see it break that 0.5 level, which again is at 2,583 about. So could be heading there, but we already knew in advance that it was probably going to hold this support. So this was your support here, and hopefully you were able to catch these bottoms here if you were looking to accumulate on Ethereum. If you're going to be looking for any short-term trading on Ethereum, you definitely want to make sure it's breaking above this 0.5 area, as that's the next confirmation. And you can see that is just our previous support. So we really want to break that and not find resistance. You can see here in the lowest level here, the RSI is still making a new low, which is interesting on Ethereum. We're not getting the confirmation of strength that we're really seeing in other coins. And you can see here down on the RSI, what I'm marking is that 0.5 level on the RSI. So just like in price, we really want to see strength break above that, which we're not seeing on Ethereum, like you just seen in XRP with strength way above 70. So this is really interesting on the reaction for Ethereum. It's still early, still very close to that 0.5 golden retracement. So if you're still looking to accumulate on Ethereum, there's still opportunity there. Either wait for confirmation if you're in short-term trading, but otherwise, this is still overall a good time in the market to be entering on Ethereum. What we're going to be seeing next, hopefully along with the broader market, is a new trend forming. And I do think with this massive news breaking, this is what could really fuel that multi-month massive expansion that we have been looking to see. So I do think that we could be on to new trends. And on Ethereum, we have that coming in right around that 5,300 area as our major target and next major resistance. So we do have a lot of local resistance on XRP, and previous high is still far away, up above 4,000. So we still need to see a lot of that momentum shift from Bitcoin and other exciting alts into Ethereum, which may happen as those start to correct. So we could see that happen soon on Ethereum because we haven't had a major reaction yet. So pay attention to Ethereum. Yeah, so that is what to be looking for on Ethereum. All right, you guys, so there you have it. This has been a major shift in the crypto market, and the Federal Reserve just started what could be a macro new trend across the market, with Bitcoin responding massively off that 0.5 support at 80,000. We still have previous high to watch out for, but that could be heading towards that $126,000 area. And then XRP perfectly bouncing off that $2 psychological support. Similar to Bitcoin, we have $3.80 previous all-time high to watch out for, but that could also be heading up towards new trends, up towards that famous $8 to $13 target that everyone talks about. That could be what is next. And then Ethereum still very early in its reaction, still under its 0.5 retracement, still early. If you are looking to accumulate on Ethereum, that could be heading up towards 5,000. So let's see what happens this week. This could be a major week in crypto. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're subscribed to the DataDash channel here on YouTube. And make sure you're following DataDash over on X, as well as myself, Cassie Trades on X, for all the latest crypto updates. We'll see you guys next time.